things that we laugh about, but was hard. That we would show up here, there was no way we would do a fit tunnel. We would have been in sweats because we came here to work out before the actual game and lift weights. And I'm not saying these women don't do that, but for us, that's where our mindset was, because every moment was an opportunity to, guess what, convince somebody new to watching the WNBA or watching women's basketball for the first time. We had to convince you that we could play ball and that we could be here. So just that 30 years for us, it's amazing to be alive to see it. I'm just going to be honest, to see these women be paid what they're going to be paid and to continue to grow this game. It's outstanding, and we know that it will continue to grow.
Anything to add?
Yes, and for myself, I think that, to piggyback off of Lisa, the next 30 years, we still need stability. The foundation was laid, now it has to really be set. And what they're doing in the moment that they're in is completely different from the moment that we were in. It was the infancy stage of the league, and we had to have a different approach. Now I would love for them to attach themselves to the history of it all, to understand where they came from, to understand where they need to take it. I think that the future will look different. Maybe we'll see more Sue Birds. Maybe we'll see more players being owners. Now that they're making the type of money that they can invest in properly to be able to own a team. I want to see that. I want to see different type of media coverage now that we're in a digital world. Everything's gonna grow, and it's gonna grow at a rapid pace, and I hope that the players can keep up with that.
And I would just add, like the community initiative piece, in the grassroots level. I'm a high school coach now, and the numbers for girls basketball are starting to suffer a little bit. So, you know, I think the WNBA has an amazing opportunity to be able to reach back into some of these communities and continue to grow the game at the grassroots level. I think that would be amazing. I think the next 30 years are gonna need that.
Thank you.
John in front of you.
John W. Davis with the Southern California News Group. This question is primarily for Lisa, but I'd like for Delisha and Tamika to also comment. Lisa, as the Sparks all-time leading scorer and a prolific scorer yourself, and I know both of y'all can get buckets too, but what do you think about this team's pace and space system and just the overall number of possessions that these teams are getting offensively? They just play so fast and they're scoring so many points, and I mean, I can only imagine how many points you might have scored in some of these games.
Well, I love it. The fact that they switched to the 4 quarters, I think just the system, the style. You know, when I would rebound the ball, Coop was like, get the outlet to me, get the outlet to, you know, Nick, like outlet the ball, you know, versus where I'm like, if I don't see an outlet, I'm bringing it up. And they knew I was. So they would get in trouble. You know, I just think the game has changed, coaching has changed, the style, when you see these 1-4s and the ability to just, you know, flow with the offense. We see a lot more, obviously, the three ball, we know statistically now has moved into a place where teams pass up layups for threes all the time, and us old school, we're like, what the hell? Yeah. Just make the layup, but they will, you know, drive under the basket and kick it back out for the 3. And so the game is changing in a way that obviously we would have been able to adjust, and if we were allowed to do some of the things that they do, we would have done it the same. But I feel like overall, I just love where the game is. I love that we're seeing the game played at a faster pace. I think last night I was covering a game on CBS, and the score was it in the hundreds? I mean, it's just the fact that teams are scoring so many points because of the 3 ball and just the quickness and the pace, right? We talked about just pace of the game just being faster, and I love it. And I think that's coaches have had to adjust their styles with the style of the game. And I think that we've learned a lot, I think, from the NBA in terms of that type of pace and sort of that, you know, everybody can bring the ball up, 4 players out. And sometimes it's beneficial, and then there's other times it's like, look, y'all better get that ball in the paint, find Camilla, you know, get it to the big girls, high percentage shots. And so I think there's a great mix of old school, new school, right? You got A'ja Wilson, possibly about to be the 5-time MVP. And it's amazing because they still utilized her in sort of a more old school way. She operates at the block. She obviously shoots threes as we did, but she also gets her money and everything done in the paint. So again, old school, we appreciate that. You know, but I love it. Just know I'm a fan of the game. Obviously I cover it, but I enjoy watching these women play.
For myself, I think that it's a beautiful brand of basketball when you can blend generations of styles, right? But the one thing that I would challenge is, and I think that it's gonna be met sooner or later, is the defensive end. Who's going to be the one to make the changes on the defensive end to adapt to the style of play of pace and space, within the league now? Yes, we have 3 seconds. Yes, the referees want freedom of movement because they want more points scored, because the fans like to see that, right? But if you want to win the game, you can't just hang your hat on the offensive side. You have to bring something defensively, and I think adjustments or creative adjustments could be made to be able to stymie whatever it is that your opponents are trying to bring offensively.
Spoken from a true defender.
Mm-hmm.
D, who you guarding?
Everybody.
Everybody.
I'll tell you this though, our championship teams were built for this style of play. Like, if you would have opened the game up, you would have not been able to guard us. We were so talented, so I would have loved to
That would've
play.
been scary.
I would have loved to play in today's style of basketball.
Michael Matthew here with LA Sparks Weekly. I want to take you guys back 30 years to that first game. What are your most memorable memories of that game, just showing up to the arena and things like that?
Fatigue. We were again just laughing about it because everything that we have done today, we had a brunch already. I've signed autographs, I've taken pictures, we did a photo shoot. I literally did all that same day of that game.
Wow.
And then I was like, wait a minute, but don't we have a game to play? And they're like, yeah. And I mean, just the idea of all of the things that we did media-wise prior to that game is actually awful, which is why I only had 16 points. And the missed dunk, because I almost got home because I didn't have no legs left. It was just a lot, but it was what we had to do, and we were willing to do it. I'm not gonna say it without complaint, because I was like, y'all now want me to go out there and play, like, but in front of all these fans. So it was tough, but I wouldn't change it for the world. I would definitely try to get the win, but I wouldn't change it. It was great to be a part of that inaugural season and everything they had built up with Rebecca and I. I think it was a lot of pressure for both of us. It really was, to try to be the face of this league in a time where we had no idea what it was going to look like. I really thought the WNBA was going to be a summer league with reversible jerseys, and I thought we were going to play like pickup. I had no idea it was really going to be at the Great Western Forum, and we would have the same locker room as the Lakers, and to pull into the tunnel. I was like, you are not serious right now. And I was also like, I am not ready. So I knew that in my heart, but the opportunity, I wouldn't say I missed it because I was there, but I wasn't prepared the way that I knew to be a champion. I had to go back to how I trained as an Olympian to really be able to reach success. And I was clearly able to do it. Eventually we learned.
We did.
We learned. But I think the first season, it was really a shock. It was a shock.
And my experience is much different than that. I was a true rookie coming out of college, and just the bright lights of LA just numbed me for a second. And I remember actually being in the layup line and just like staring into the stage, staring around the arena and just looking at like all the people who I couldn't believe had come to see us play. And I remember Lisa saying like lock in, like basically, I don't know if she used the terms lock in, but she kind of like hit me in the back of the head and was like, come on, like we get ready to play.
Hey, man.
But it was an amazing experience, and just honored and blessed to be able to be a part of such a exciting moment.
For myself, I chose the ABL first, the American Basketball League. And while I love that league dearly, I have to admit, when I watched the WNBA, I said, dang, it's popping over there. They're playing in big arenas, they have the fanfare, they got the stars on the sidelines. That's pretty cool. And they had the backing of the NBA. And when our league went defunct and we were able to be in a dispersal draft, it was everything for me to be able to be alongside Lisa. And we had Olympic, I was a baby then, on my Olympic journey, and I was within the trials, and just standing alongside of her and Donna and Teresa Edwards. I'm just looking around like, somebody pinch me, because this is wild. But once I got here, I understood the assignment completely. She's a hometown kid, and this meant a lot to her, and she's in the city of champions. And she made sure we were aware that UNLA, baby, they expect us to win. It can't just be the Dodgers, and it can't just be the Lakers. We have to claim our stake as well. And so, I dedicated a lot of what I did towards helping her be able to walk around in her home soil proudly.
Last question here, Edwin.
Edwin Garcia, Source Skin and Roll. My question for all three of you is, we just took a look back on those days, but now 30 years later here at Cradle.com Arena, what do you see from the facilities and how much resources these women have now, and what are you feeling now being celebrated on a day like today?
Oh my God. Oh my goodness. It's amazing to see. I mean, I remember, like, you know, us practicing at Southwest.
Yeah.
Southwest LA.